Yes. So we were discussing about the four defects, is it not? The four defects. First one is the imperfect senses. If the imperfect sense is there, then it is difficult to understand what is there beyond us, and we. This is the reason why Pratyaksh Praman is not giving us the complete knowledge. And then if we make have imperfect senses, so we get illusion. Let's say in a dark room there is a rope which is there, we may understand it may be a snake. So that is the problem which we may face. Okay, the screen sharing stopped immediately. Okay, I'll reshare the screen. So yeah, mirage is also what we can see, but actually it does not exist. So that is the reason why we have imperfect senses. So similarly, because we have imperfect senses, we are getting illusioned, and because we are getting illusioned, there is a tendency to commit mistakes. So yes, how we commit mistakes? We see that even in scientific research, there are so many mistakes which have happened. As for example, there was a bubonic plague which was found in the European countries, and they thought the reason for the plague is that of the rats and the cats. So they thought the cat, the microorganism is in the cat. So they killed all the cats of European countries, and they saw that the plague increased because the defect was not in the cat but in the rats. And now there are no cats, so the population of rats increased. So the plague multiplied. Similarly, we can see that there are so many scientific research which are very were wrong, or they were in a neophyte stage in an earlier stage previously. For example, the pituitary gland, okay, the gland which is there in our base of the brain, the skull, was considered to be a gland for temperature control. But now we know pituitary gland is not for temperature control, but it secretes the hormones which are responsible for different glands in our body, releasing factors. Similarly, the brain was also thought as another organ for temperature control in the earlier days, but later they found, oh, brain has nothing to do with the temperature control. Similarly, we see that this Hubble constant, which was considered to be the yardstick to measure the distance in the space, has changed three times. And the scientists were joking that Hubble constant is not a constant, but it's a variable, because it is always changing in our research. What is the exact value of Hubble constant? So it's like this. There are so many examples which we can see that even scientists, by their research, they are coming to different conclusions, and the research is not correct, or it is flawful with full of mistakes, because the very reason is we have imperfect senses, and that is why we can be illusioned. Some of you may have a question, sir, but we have now telescope, microscope, and our senses can be more perfect by this. However, even though you see by a telescope, but after all it is this eye which will make the observation. So even if you have a very wonderful machine, but the eye has some limitation, is it not? And what are the limitations? Yes, we know that we cannot see as human beings beyond the visible eye, visible range light. You know, the owls can see at night. These dogs, they can see some wavelengths which we cannot appreciate. The owls, the dogs, so they can see, but we cannot. Even the rats, they can hear some frequency of sounds which the man cannot hear. That is why when sometimes nowadays we see there are machines which produce ultrasound waves, ultrasonic vibrations, which by hearing that the rats die, because they feel very much disturbed, and as humans we cannot hear at all. So that means there is limitation, we cannot appreciate even though we can aid ourselves with so many machines and modern equipments. So that comes to a point that we commit mistakes, and that leads to cheating propensity. We copy in the exam, or there is cheating all around, even in the scientific world. So many people, even in the name of scientific research, they try to loot the money of people and do unnecessary research work. Yes, nothing to blame with the science, But because there is this three imperfect senses, there is a tendency of cheating. I can say one small example. There is a scientist who claimed that I have found petrol from water, and to the surprise of many world renowned scientists, they thought, array, if this happens to be true, this scientist will be very famous. He has a very magic formula. And they came to investigate that, oh, he is trying to make petrol out of water. And then they found out that he had cheated by using some petrochemical substance within the straw with which he was mixing the chemical. And then his research was completely flawful. So like this, we see so many problems in the research work and tendency of cheating which is there. Yeah, so some bats also can hear ultraviolet sounds, but humans cannot. Thank you. So, keeping this structure in our mind that we have these four defects, we can conclude that Pratyaksha Praman is surely not the way with which we can understand the perfect knowledge or the ultimate knowledge. And I can show you furthermore many examples, as I discussed with you, that we are blind beyond this range of frequencies, or we are deaf beyond this particular range of frequencies. And even a scientist who is seeing the stars with the telescope has ultimately to see with his own eyes, which are themselves imperfect. So this is what the Nobel Prize winning physicist has to say, that even if we photograph the stars, eventually we have to take in by our senses. So what the photo shows. So that is what I mentioned. Even the microscopes or even the advanced machines cannot make our observation perfect. And we can see that we can be illusioned. Let us say if we take an orange and after that we take sugar, after the sugar we take an orange, then the orange also, which is supposed to be khata mitha, will only appear khata, because our taste buds are saturated with the sugar particles. So this is what can give a wrong observation. So let us now identify what is there in this picture. Let us have some interactions. Can anybody tell what is there in the first image over here, figure 1? What is this appearing to all of you? You can share in the chat box. Okay, somebody is telling triangle. Yeah, so it appears to be a triangle, but actually it is just the three circles which are cut and arranged in such a fashion that it appears to be a triangle, but actually there is no triangle there. But we perceive it as a triangle. So this is one example which can make us illusioned, or gumrah, by just an arrangement of the things. Okay, there is another picture over here. Can you tell me what is this figure 2 suggesting, all of you? Is she a lady? If she is a lady, whether she is old or whether she is young, or what else you can see in this figure 2? Okay, somebody saying a lady or a woman. Young lady. Brinda is sharing. Yeah, actually, there are both. There is an old lady and young lady also. I will tell you how. So, if you see that this black structure over here is the hairs, and if you can see that this particular structure, which is V shaped, is the nose, and if you see that this part of the figure is the mouth, and this particular V shaped thing is the chin, so this has receded, then this is the dress and this is the covering of that lady, then it appears to be an old lady. But if you feel that these are the hairs and this is the eye, okay, and here is the nose and this is the cheeks, so this can make you feel that she is a young lady, and this is the ears. So this simultaneously shows a young lady and an old lady depending on how we perceive it. Similarly, over here also one can see a old lady and a old man facing each other. Simultaneously, there is a young lady and a young guitarist who are sitting beside each other. Along with that, there is a golden jar which is also there. So It is very illusory, the picture which is giving us different conclusions. So this, I hope with this you can understand that how our perception, our pratyaksh praman can go wrong. Okay, so discussing many, there are examples. As you can see, this picture also appears that things are moving cylindrically, but I am not doing anything, I have not put a video, it just appears that it is moving. Believe it or not, all these three people, soldiers, are of the same height. Just the arrangement which shows that it is different. Same with this picture also. Yeah, it appears that there is a bridge, but probably only the ships are arranged in such a fashion that it appears that they are arranged in the bridge form. So, now coming to the third aspect, if you have imperfect senses which makes us illusioned and go wrongly perceiving the conclusions of the objects which are perceived. So, the third thing which we do is commit mistakes, and which I already shared about Hubble constant, pituitary gland, and the brain. And small mistakes can lead to big disasters in scientific research, as you know about Bhopal tragedy and the bubonic plague which I shared. So many such examples are there. And last session we saw about Darwin's theory, that how actually they had done cheating by giving a missing link, because Darwin's theory tells that the man has come from the apes, the monkeys. So if they have to prove this, they have to show a in between fossil which neither appears like the monkey nor exactly like the man, somewhere in between. So what they did, they filed it with a jaw or with a instrument, and made it look like in between fossil. So it was a cooked up, a made up fossil. So that was exposed, and it proved wrong. The fraud was revealed that it is neither a human skull or a monkey, but it was artificially made like that. So this is the cheating tendency which we can see. Even the origin of universe, many theories, the proof do not exist. And recently in 2019, the Dr. James Tour has proved that all the theory of origins of these creations are not good standing now. So we saw about Pratyaksh Praman, and we saw also about Anuman Praman, the guesswork in the last session about Darwin's theory. So what is Anuman Praman? That postulate that okay, maybe this is true, or maybe that is true, but with this we cannot understand God, because God is also called as Adhokshaja in the scriptures, which we cannot perceive with our material eyes. What is something spiritual, we need to perceive with that spiritual eye, or we should need that qualification. So nowadays they have recently propagated about God's particle, because that God's particle was told it is lesser or smaller than the electron and the neutron and the proton, and a very big machine was required of lakhs and lakhs of rupees to find out, which only exists for a certain phase of time. Okay, and they named it as a God particle just to get some name and fame. But we can understand that newer and newer things are being invented, and there is something called as antimatter or a spiritual particle which also exists. There are researches made upon that also. So this indicates that there is something which we are not able to perceive with our just this materialistic eyes. That a very big machine was required to just identify that small God's particle which was existing only for a certain period of time. So even the details I am not aware, but why I have put here this is to make us understand that there is something what is existing which we are not easily able to perceive by our own eyes. So there are many physicists who tell that the science is not giving us the complete picture. That is what Erwin Schrodinger tells. So now coming to the third aspect, we discussed about Pratyaksha, Shabda, Anuman, and what is the Shabda Praman. So Shabda Praman is the one which can help us understand God. As we discussed, that the mother can tell who is our father. So if a child wants to know where is our father, yeah, there may be a DNA test which can be done, but which will take 800 years to come to a conclusion of 200 samples, likely that one of them is the father. But do we remain for 800 years? probably not for 100 years also. So it's not practical to do the DNA testing and to find out who is our father. But the best way is to just ask our mother and she will tell who is our father. Similarly, if we want to know God, we should just ask our scriptures, and we should have that faith. We have to develop that firm faith. Many of you are having faith in Bhagavad Gita, but our faith has to deepen by the association and by coming regularly to these sessions, by hearing again and again, and practically perceiving that how to apply this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, by questioning and by practicing in one's life. We have to come to a deeper understanding that how we can really talk to God, see God, and feel His presence in our life. So that is what I was telling about the DNA testing, which will take 800 years. So this is completely impractical way of understanding the truth. So deductive way of knowledge, just ask your mother and know who your father is. So deductive way of knowledge is one way that we can attain knowledge, and inductive way is another way which we can attain knowledge. What is the difference? Deductive way means just ask whatever has been researched and just know and hear, and we know the truth. Like we even do it in our universities, in our classes. We just hear from the teacher and we don't ask a question. Oh teacher, show your certificate, are you a bona fide teacher? No, we just have faith. Probably we may do some research before coming, whether it is a bona fide school, is it registered, that much research we may do, and then we just hear whatever they say. Similarly, even in spiritual life, we should find out who is the spiritual master, who is the correct guru, who is telling the truth. Whatever has been written in Bhagavad Gita, is he repeating the same, or he is making mixture and changing the message and giving for his own name, fame, and glory? So we should do that testing even in the spiritual life. But after that testing, then we have to surrender and hear what he says. So that is the way of attaining the knowledge, which is the perfect way of attaining knowledge according to Bhagavad Gita. In the Guru Shishya Parampara, one should take the knowledge. Now you may have question, how we can know that yes, we can know God, Ishwara, through this parampara. There can be so many mistakes or so many flaws in the passing of the knowledge. Yes, that is why you have to test by the triangle Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. What is this triangle which can give us the proof? Whatever our Guru is telling, it is written in the Shastra, and whatever the Guru is telling, it is told by previous Acharyas also, the Sadhus. So, who are they? Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Shankaracharya. All these are renowned personalities in India who are very authoritative in the Vedic knowledge. So everybody, if they say the same thing about God and existence of Ishwara and Lord Krishna as supreme, then that gives us the faith. Oh yes, if everybody is telling, everybody is following Bhagavad Gita, then that means there should be something which is important and worth following it. And then we have to apply in our life. That is the crux of the testing. You apply the teachings and you see the result. It is not that after years together you will get the result immediately. Bhagavad Gita tells that pratyaksha vagamam dharmyam, this knowledge, spiritual knowledge, we can appreciate it directly with our own eyes. Also we can feel the difference after applying the knowledge. Pratyaksha vagamam dharmyam susukham kartum avyayam. It is very, very, very pleasurable once this knowledge is applied. Raj vidya raj guhyam pavitram idam uttamam pratyaksha vagamam dharmyam susukham kartum avyayam. Once you start applying the knowledge, we see the difference. Our heart feels lot of pleasure. Unless and until we feel pleasure, we cannot recite. I cannot practice this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita since last 20 years. Unless and until I was feeling happy. I we don't charge, we don't gain anything by giving some these lectures, but we do it because we are getting pleasure and we want to share it with others. That is the only thing. So unless we don't get pleasure and feeling, we cannot share it with you. We cannot understand and spend so much time. So this is what is the proof that this is working out. The soul is becoming activated and becoming more happy. So that is the deductive knowledge, and that is the way we should take knowledge. What is the problem in research and experimentation? Yeah, it is good till the time it proves the Vedic knowledge. But what happens, because there are imperfect senses and tendency to commit mistakes, whatever research we will do, that will also have lot of mistakes. And the proof is that all our engineering textbooks, medical textbooks, they keep changing. Every year there is a revised edition almost. So what does it indicate? that whatever was there previously was wrong, like the structure of atom, Dalton, Rutherford, and now Bohr's atomic model. Why the atomic model is keeping on changing? So the idea is that that knowledge which is done by experimentation is not correct or not reliable, but the knowledge by Bhagavad Gita, which is there, which is as it is given by the scriptures, by the sadhus, by the spiritual master, that is what we need to understand, and by that we'll know who is our Ishvara, who is our God. So that is the understanding. The authorized college, the parampara, the sampradaya, we can compare the college where we are going to study. When you select engineering college, you will do a research whether it is registered or not. Similarly, we should see the parampara. Four paramparas are there. From there our ISKCON comes in Brahma parampara, whether it is authorized, whether Prabhupada, who is the founder of ISKCON, is there in the parampara or not. All the details are given in the Bhagavad Gita. I have forwarded the soft copy, the link for the Bhagavad Gita of ISKCON in the WhatsApp group. You can also try to download and see, or if you want, you can request us. We can send you a hard copy also. So that all the details are nicely given. The professor, one who has heard from his guru, he becomes the professor. So he is a qualified person to teach. Not that okay, he has a particular degree or that much. Just the qualification is he should have heard from his guru, one who comes in parampara. Then he becomes qualified to teach. And how to know that whether he is cheating or not? Yes, in Kali Yuga, lot of cheater gurus are also there. Even spiritual sadhus are also cheating. But I told you the triangle: Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. We apply that triangle, and then we apply and we see susukham kartum avyavam, whether it is giving you results or not. This can make it pakka that you are not cheated, and then nobody can do. Once you confirm that the guru is not a cheater guru, then you can have firm faith and follow his teachings to get further results. And what are the authorized books? The Vedic texts like Bhagavad Gita. So why to put faith in the scriptures? Yes, because we understood that the Pratyaksh Praman is not correct, the Anuman Praman is not correct, the perfect way, but we can use Anuman Praman and Pratyaksh Praman to facilitate to our understanding of Shabda Praman. Like for example, Jagdish Chandra Bose, when his mother told that there is life in plants, so he thought from where she got this knowledge. But she had read the scriptures, and he did an experiment to prove that life indeed has there is life in the plants. It has a soul. So by such experimentation, if it helps to prove the Shabda Praman, then it is fine. But the perfect way to understand the God and spirituality is only by Shabda Praman and never by Anuman or Pratyaksha Praman. So the predictions now. See, already in the scriptures, it is predicted that Jesus Christ will come, Muhammad Prophet will come in 570 AD, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will come in 1486 AD, Ashoka, Chanakya, all this was already predicted in the scriptures before. So, this should also give us faith that, oh, if this was already predicted, that means the scriptures are very much worth believing it, and we should not take it lightly. Already cow dung is antiseptic was written in the scriptures. The scientist found it afterwards. So many of you might be aware of these facts of Vastu Shastra, the astronomy, mathematics. All these were there in our Vedic scriptures, which was only proved later by the modern scientist. Even Ayurveda and the surgical aspect by Shushruta. He was the old ancient surgeon of India, and the modern surgery only developed later on. So we can see, yes, that the modern science has developed, the medical science has developed a lot, and we don't say that we, even I am a medical doctor. In my previous a few years back when I was practicing, I also know the importance of it and how advanced it is. However, we should not underestimate the knowledge which was there in the Vedas. Only thing is, now nobody is there to use it and apply it as they were doing it before. But the fact is, yes, all the knowledge is given in the Vedas, which is good enough for us to reach our ultimate destination, stopping this birth, death, old age, and disease. So, this was the prediction which I wanted to share. And now we see that how the Vedas already have told about the plants have life, the Vedic mathematics, the Vedic cosmography, astronomy, the ancient Indian metallurgy, organic farming, embryology. Whatever this embryo, the small child goes through, is already written in the 11th canto of Bhagavatam, which the current modern embryology is telling. So now this gives us a good amount of picture, that how we should believe on Shabda Praman as our ultimate way to attain the knowledge. Evam parampara praptamyam राजऋषयो विदुः सकाले नेह महता योगो नष्टः परन्तपः. So again Krishna comes to tell, establish this Guru Shishya Parampara. As and when the Guru Shishya Parampara destroys, so somebody was asking that, does Krishna tell this Bhagavad Gita again and again every yuga? No, he doesn't tell it again and again. But whenever there is a dharma glani, yada yada hi dharmasya ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानम धर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम. Whenever there is glani of the dharma, then srujamyaham. Krishna comes, God comes. But in other lives, in other yugas, he comes as Vishnu form, Varaha avatar, or uh, he comes as Narsimha avatar, in different different forms, and he removes the adharma in the form of the demons. So surely Krishna will come, God will come, Ishwara will come in the different different forms, but not necessarily in the form of Krishna, and that he has to tell Gita. But in essence, he keeps telling it whenever required. So this is the shloka for that, fourth chapter, second shloka. So, how to now learn Bhagavad Gita is by ourselves or by a bona fide guru. So, Krishna tells that we have to approach a self realized person. Fourth chapter, second shloka. In this Guru Shishya Parampara, we have to understand. If we read at home alone, we may not get so much perfect knowledge, because for everything we require a teacher, even for materialistic subject. So, what to speak about spiritual subject matter? Now, they have seen the truth, and then they can give us, they can guide us. So we cannot understand Bhagavad Gita on our own, because our senses are again imperfect. Now there may be a question, what about the Guru's sense, the spiritual master sense? He is also a person. Is it not that his senses are imperfect? No. So when we get the knowledge from the perfect person, then at least our knowledge becomes perfect. As we see in the parampara, the first is Krishna. So he doesn't have material senses or imperfect senses. His senses are perfect. So his first student, Lord Brahma, is a perfect person, especially in the knowledge wise. So when the knowledge gets transmitted in the Guru Shishya Parampara, so if he has taken perfectly, that means his knowledge is perfect. Similarly, if I am also telling in the Parampara, then whatever I speak is perfect. I may not be perfect. I may do some mistakes, but that does not mean that whatever I am speaking is also imperfect. Unless and until I repeat it. If I put some mixture, masala of my own, then I become imperfect. But to the time I just repeat, then my knowledge giving is perfect. And how you can make sure that it is perfect? By the triangle. So this is the way we can understand the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Yes. Now let us understand that how. Okay, Shivani is telling. I also tried to read it, but I actually started understanding Bhagavad Gita once I started learning from Suvarna Gaur Hari Prabhu. Yes, correct. So that is the key. We cannot understand these matters on our own. Even the materialistic subject matters. So what to speak of spiritual subject matters? Why we do that? Because we don't want to hear or submit to somebody. But unless you take the pain and pay the price of going to a guru and listening to what he's saying, serving him, then we cannot understand. One more shloka in Bhagavad Gita tells, तद्विद्धि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्ष्यन्ति ते ज्ञानं ज्ञानिना तत्त्वदर्शिना. You should surrender to a guru, you should ask question, and you should serve, then he will give you the knowledge. So that is the way actually. But now you may ask, where is such a institution where such knowledge is available? Yes, there are these four sampradayas in Madhva Sampradaya, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, in Sampradaya, in Balaji Temple, Tirupati, in the Chennai, and the Char Kumar Sampradaya, which is almost not existing. And in our ISKCON temples, we have spiritual masters who can give, and we have a proper process. So it is existing. So only the thing is, we have to have a very genuine inquiry. We have so much time for other things for body. Similarly, we should have time for our soul to get proper knowledge how to approach a guru. So here are the four sampradayas which I was talking about. the Krishna is giving the knowledge to Brahma, in which our ISKCON comes, it goes to Madhvacharya. In Lakshmi Sampradaya it goes to Ramanujacharya, and Lord Shiva's Sampradaya it goes to Vishnu Swami, and Char Kumara, the son of Brahma, they go to Nimbarka Acharya. So out of this, the Vishnu Swami and Nimbarka Acharya, these two sampradayas are almost getting extinct. Only very few followers are remaining, but the Ramanuja and Madhva Sampradaya are there, and ISKCON comes under this Madhva Sampradaya. So anybody who reads Bhagavad Gita and the author is there in this Sampradaya, this Parampara, that will be the authentic Bhagavad Gita to read, because there are 6,600 copies of Bhagavad Gita available in the market, different authors. But you should not read those Bhagavad Gitas, because they just tell their own understanding. They don't repeat the what the seniors teachers are telling, and one should, unless one does not repeat, the knowledge will not be perfect. And you can see for yourself, even the Gita Gorakhpur press, many of the people have read and they are not able to get the perfect knowledge. It is just the translation of the shlokas, not deep meaning and how to apply practically in the life. Not only that, even the meanings are not very clear, the understanding and application. But if you see Srila Prabhupada's book, then it is now the world famous Bhagavad Gita. In even Pakistan, China, kind of Muslim countries and communist countries have given permission to publish it. And in Russia also, they have won the court case, and the publication is allowed. So it is widely spreading. People are widely accepting and getting benefited. So I told you about our sampradaya, how it comes from Brahma, Narada, Vyasa, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and then Srila Prabhupada, and now his immediate disciples are there, who are preaching all over the world the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So, if we see in just an overview, the Vedic knowledge is very huge, and it can bewilder us that so many lakhs of shlokas are there. But Bhagavad Gita is the essence which is given. Basically, the Vedic knowledge is divided into Shruti and Smriti. Shruti is what is actually written. They are the by Vyasadeva, and Smriti is the one which are remembered and seen, and they are just noted. Like Mahabharata was a scene which has been, or the occasion, the episode which was created, and whatever was heard and recorded, based on that it is established. So these are the two different uh, branches of Vedic knowledge. And this Upanishads and Vedas and all these Aranyakas and Shikshas, Kalpas, they come in the Shruti section. And in the Smriti section, these Puranas, the Itihasas, the Tantras, they come in the Smriti section. They are just the words which were remembered and written. So now there may be a question whether this remembrance would be correct or not. Yes, there were very high power of hearing was there in the previous times. People were just once or twice they hear, they used to remember for long time. That is why these smritis are also valid. And nowadays, because Kali Yuga, the memory is down, that is why Vyasadeva wrote it. Otherwise, just by hearing the shloka, they used to remember. So, for our sake, we don't have to get confused and so much with this wide amount of Vedic scriptures. We can just refer Bhagavad Gita, and if more interested, Srimad Bhagavatam, and that if we apply in our life, we can get the similar result, because that is the essence, what Krishna has given out of all these Vedas. Now the question comes, okay, we understood that how to understand God by Shabda Praman, but the question is, if there is one God, why there are so many religions? The simple example is, let us say there is a soldier who is fighting for a country on the land. There is a navy officer who is having a different color of uniform, who is fighting on the oceans, on the marine ships. And there is a air force person, pilot, who is having a different color and he is fighting on the air. So there are different dress codes and different personalities fighting differently, but the cause is one, fighting for the nation. Similarly, these all these different religions, they may be appearing with different color, caste, creed, and ways of worshipping, but the ultimate goal, what they are trying to teach one, is the same, that love and serve God. So there are many many commonalities between Hindu, Muslim, Christianity also. The word soul also comes in Christianity and even in Muslims. That God has form, it is, he is not formless, is also supported by Hindu, Muslim, and Christian. And even the mantra meditation, there is something called as rosaries in Christianity, and Allah's name, that are I have seen Muslims also, they have beads on which they chant the Allah name. So the name chanting of the names is very much recommended. So there are so many commonalities like this, if we can carefully see, which makes us understand that even though there are different religions, but there are so many common factors. Only the method of expressing can be different. As we saw of the different fighters for the nation, they may fight differently with the different dress code, but the purpose is to save the nation. Similarly, the purpose here is to love and serve God. So we should not be just secular in the name of secular, that oh, all the religions are allowed. No, secularism should not lead to atheism. If we are following secularism, I see in many schools teachers, they tell that we are secular, we cannot allow Bhagavad Gita, otherwise I have to allow everything, Quran and Bible also. Yes, we can have the facility half an hour period for all the religion people to do their work, do their prayer, and thereby we can be properly secular. Otherwise, in the name of secularism, we can be having just atheism. So this is Sanatan Dharma. Actually, there is no word called Hindu. This Hindu word is not there in the Vedas only. You may be surprised, Are Hindu is our dharma, how come the word Hindu is not there? Yes, actually these Mughals who came and invaded India, they came from the Arabian countries, and when they were crossing the Sindhu river, so they told that whoever is staying across this Sindhu river, they termed them Hindu, because they could not pronounce the word S properly, so they told them Hindu. And the word India also came by Britishers, as many of you may be knowing. The part of land beyond the Indus river, which goes in the northern aspect of India and Pakistan, those who stay beyond that, they are Indians. So actually there is no word called Hindu, but the word for our dharma is Sanatan Dharma, the oldest religion. The word Sanatan means it is ever existing. What is the meaning of word Sanatana? Which is very eternal. So the I can give an example. What is dharma of the sugar? The dharma of sugar is to be sweet. If it is not sweet, then it is not sugar. Similarly, the dharma of salt is to be salty. So if it is not feeling salty, then it is not salt. Similarly, the dharma of water is to be liquid and flowing. If it is ice, then it is no more water, it is considered to be now different in the functionality. Similarly, what is the dharma of the soul? As we are soul, not the body, our dharma is to love and serve God. So either we serve God, or we serve some dog, or we serve some people, our friends, our relatives, our nation, but our tendency to serve cannot be taken away. If somebody doesn't have a child, mother and father, they may, we have seen, they take up some puppy dog, or say they take some they take some child for on the basis, from the other places, others child, and they try to love and serve because they want to have a relationship. So this is the nature, we want to serve somebody, we want to have a relationship with somebody. If we don't serve anybody, then we will serve our own senses. So this is tendency of serving is there, which is the Sanatan Dharma, which is the dharma of a jiva. So this is what is actually our religion, which was there since more than 5000 years, before even Bhagavad Gita was spoken to Arjuna. And the others came just recently, 2500 years Buddhism came, 2000 years ago Christianity came, and 1300 years ago the Islam had come. So the Sanatan Dharma is the oldest religion existing, and that makes us understand that, how prevalent our Vedic scriptures are, and how much profound the knowledge what it gives is there already existing. So there is so many comparisons which we can tell between Sanatan Dharma and Christianity, and so that makes us solve a question that yes, there may be many many religions, but God is always one, And the purpose of all this religion, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, is to love and serve that one God. So quickly moving to another aspect of our discussion today, that what is God, if how we can understand more about Ishvara. So we will try to understand it by one simple example, that if we have to understand Ishvara according to Bhagavad Gita, we have to understand it in three aspects. What are those three aspects? Let us study that. So the first picture shows a light, a bright light which is coming. So we may think, oh, this is some light which is traveling. But when the train comes nearby, then we see, oh, this is not just a light, but there are some coach, and there is some engines, and there is some people who may be there inside, or some sound coming. So we know more about the train or the object which is coming nearby. So this is understanding more deeply about that thing. But when we see that the train has come to the platform and it has stopped, and we get inside, then we see, oh, within the train there are so many people also who are sitting, and they are doing some different things. So this gives a more deeper understanding and idea about what we are seeing. So why did I give you this example? Because with this we can also understand God in three different ways. Because many of you might have heard about Brahma Jyoti, that the ultimate thing is just a light. You know, when one person was doing meditation and telling Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, by chanting Hare Krishna, I am getting a red light in my forehead. So Prabhupada told, you keep chanting and the red light will go away. That means it was just a experience which he was feeling, which was not actually the truth. That is not the ultimate thing. So this is an incomplete picture of the absolute truth or God. It is not giving us a complete picture. The second figure gives more detailed picture, but even that is not complete, because we are not able to see people inside. So this first picture gives a Brahman feature of the Lord, Brahma Jyoti or Brahman, that God is the light which is coming out from the body of God, is pervaded entire universe, you know, entire spiritual universe. So that is the partial representation of Ishvara. And secondly, this Paramatma feature, which can be told by the second diagram, that we are the train is coming near. So what is that Paramatma feature? The Lord which is there in our heart, in everybody's heart, every jivatma, every living entity, whether he is an animal or a human being or even a microorganism. So the Lord which is staying there is called as Paramatma. Is a localized feature, or the Vaikuntha planets, you know, and he is also a person. But in Paramatma feature, we are not able to talk to him, we are not able to exchange love and reciprocation with him. He is just there and we just feel. Let me say you an example. How can you feel this, his presence? Let us say a boy who is first time going to a college and he is offered a cigarette. अरे यार, सिगरेट नहीं पिया तो तुम क्या इंजीनियर बनोगे, क्या डॉक्टर बनोगे, लाइक दैट देयर सीनियर्स विल टेल, एंड यू नो दे विल मोटिवेट, एंड ही इज थिंकिंग whether I should take cigarette or not. Cigarette smoking is bad for health. My parents, what they will say. So why such kind of thoughts are coming? Because the Paramatma who is sitting inside his heart, he is giving him indications that no, you should not do this. Yeah. And when he does not listen and he takes the cigarette, that is the time he is ignoring the indications given by Paramatma. So this is how we can see in many phases of our life, the voice which is coming from inside gives us a feeling of presence of Paramatma. And similarly, the Bhagwan feature, as we saw, that the Lord is after all a person, and when we go inside the train, we see many people and actually moving. Similarly, Lord is also a person, and with him we can give reciprocation, give and take. And that is the ultimate planet called the spiritual planet, which is Golok Vrindavan in the spiritual world. So there we can play with God, we can talk with God, and to reach there, we have to follow the scriptures properly. We have to stop this birth and death cycle. So that goes a detailed explanation about how we can understand God in three aspects of our life. So Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So I hope that is very okay for now. The three aspects of God. And here Krishna is telling in the fifth chapter, fifth shloka of 11th chapter, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, O son of Pritha, see now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of very divine and multicolored forms." So you can see now Krishna is showing his very large, gigantic and very dangerous feature called Virat Rupa. Hmm? पश्य मे पार्थ रूपाणि शतशोथ सहस्त्रशः. So many number of hands, so many amount of number of heads, and so many, demoniac people are going inside the mouth of this Krishna, and fire is coming out. And seeing such a picture of Virat Rupa, Arjuna is becoming very very fearful. He was stunned, and he thought, "Oh, Krishna, I thought you are ordinary person. I thought you are just like my friend. I was just playing with you. I was sleeping with you. I was eating with you. But now I understood you are not at all an ordinary person. You are such a great feature." Why Krishna is showing this? So that Arjuna understands that what is the position of Krishna. And Krishna tells this is just a part of it. You will not be able to see also completely. Huh? So one more reason why Krishna shows this Virat Rupa is to make us understand that we cannot take any and everybody to be God. Suppose tomorrow some person tells that I am also God. I can also tell Bhagavad Gita, and I also can do many magics. So can we understand him as God? No. One of the factors, if we have to believe somebody as God, is he should show his Virat Rupa. And unless the Virat Rupa is shown, we should not believe anybody as God. And the second thing is that in the scriptures it should be mentioned, okay, that this particular time, this particular incarnation or form of Lord will come. Then by these two things we can understand that yes, he is Ishwara or Parameshwara, the supreme personality of Godhead. So with this we understand the significance of Virat Rupa, that Krishna gave this darshan to Arjuna. And seeing this, he was completely bewildered, and he told, "No, no, no, Krishna, sorry, I am very fearful of this form. Please come back to this two-handed form. That is only nice for me." So devotees, they don't like to see even the Paramatma or Brahman feature, but devotees like to see God with playing with him. That is what gives joy to the devotees. So here Arjuna is saying that how Krishna, you are showing your such a gigantic form. And in the 11th chapter, all the sons of Dhritarashtra along with their allied kings and Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and our chief soldiers also are rushing into your fearful mouths. They are already dead, and some I see trapped with the head smashed between your teeth. So Arjuna is saying that already this is destined, and now everything is going in the Virat Rupa form. So this is what we can understand about the supremacy of Lord in the Virat form, and this is the proof that he is Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead, the Bhagavan, the Parameshwara. Now, another feature of Bhagavan, the word Bhagavan. Bhaga means opulence, and Van means the one who possess. So, unless somebody has all these six opulences in full, in 100%, again, we cannot tell him as Lord. So, yes, somebody can be very rich, like Bill Gates, but can Bill Gates tell that I am also very knowledgeable, I am also very renounced or full of strength? No, Bill Gates may have wealth of a certain part of what is there in this earth, but can anybody tell that I am the owner of the all the opulence and all the money of the whole earth? No, nobody can tell. Even Dhirubhai Ambani's sons, Mukesh Ambani, Anil Ambani together, they cannot tell that. But one person and God, he can tell that the entire creation's wealth is mine. Nobody is equal to him or greater than him. Similarly, Gandhiji's renunciation. He he's a symbol that how he was detached from this materialistic way of life. He's trying to serve the nation, taking many troubles. So even though he had so many opportunities to rule, but he was not interested for that. But his only interest was how to serve the nation. So similarly, we can see renunciation in him, but even such a personality cannot have all the other opulences. So similarly, there is strength. Some people can lift 800 kg, that weight lifting. But when you see that how they are lifting, their mouth or their face will be completely stressed out, and they immediately throw down within few seconds. But Krishna can lift Govardhana for 7 days, and that too with a little finger, not even little bit problem, and smiling. So that is the strength of Krishna. He doesn't have to physically see where is the central point gravitational force will act and I will balance there. No, he just easily lifts it. So such a strength nobody has. Or fame. Here we are seeing that Rajnikant and all these factors, or cricketers, they may have a lot of fame. But Krishna's fame is so much that everybody now, not only India, but the entire world is reading Bhagavad Gita. As we saw that we have distributed, more than 50 crore copies of the books of Srila Prabhupada based on teachings of Bhagavad Gita all over the world, and still it is continuing. So somebody may have beauty, but Krishna's beauty is unparalleled. Even the Kama Devata, the Cupid, also faints by seeing Krishna's beauty in Vrindavan. By seeing the Mohini Murti, incarnation of Lord, all the demons are also defeated and they give up, they lose their fighting. So the beauty of Krishna is unparalleled, and that is how we can see even millions of Cupid they are getting attracted. And lastly, knowledge. Yes, who can give the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita as much as Krishna has given? Time tested, 5,000 years, completely rock solid. Not even a single shloka or a single word also of the shloka is edited like many other textbooks. So these six opulences in 100% is can be there only in Krishna or Bhagavan, and he is the one who is actually Bhagavan. So this we can understand that how God has all the six opulences, and not everybody have this, okay, in full 100%. So we understood who is God, and we also discussed this shloka that we have to see the unseen through the unseen. So what is unseen in this example, in this shloka? Krishna tells that although this necklace what you are able to see is nicely arranged, but something is hanging these pearls very nicely. And what is that? The thread which is going within these pearls. So Krishna is telling that yes, this material world is very nicely moving, all the planets, and sun is rising, very systematically. But who is governing, whom you are not able to see, is myself. It is me who is there as a gravitational force, who sun and the moon are considered to be the eyes of the Lord, and the planets which are revolving so nicely. Have you heard that two planets collided, or some big planet came and collided the earth and 5,000 people died? No. So nicely it is governed. Who is governing? Lord is governing. So we have to see like this and see that okay, there is some power behind this, and that is what Krishna is telling to Arjuna. So yes, Krishna is there everywhere, even in the smallest atomic structure of the earth, in the form of many Vishnus inside. He is there even in each and every atom of this universe, and that is why he is telling, I am the source of everything. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. Everything emanates from me. Please understand this, Arjuna. Hmm? And our whole universe is comparable to a single mustard seed in a bag full of mustard seeds. So many universes are there. One of this universe can be compared just to a mustard seed, raika dana, in the complete big bag of the raika dana. Only this whole universe consisting of so many planets. So that is what Ishvara is. From his pores, the pores of our skin where the hair comes out. So the one pore leads to one whole universe, and so many more keeps coming like this. This is what is told in the scriptures. So this gives us a fair idea about how this creation happens from the Lord, and he is the origin, and Durga Devi is the controller of this material universe. Furthermore, we can get so many evidences that how the whole cosmic universe is going on based on the control of Lord. If we see this shloka, it is mentioning unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I am the supreme personality of Godhead. Krishna was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Very important. The most commonly misunderstood concept in Indian scenario, that Lord is ultimately a light or an imperson. How can God have eyes or a hand or mouth like us? But Srila Prabhupada asked them that if you have a hand and you have mouth, your father has a hand and mouth, and his grandfather and his grandfather has, then why will the original father of all the living entities will not have an eye and a mouth? And this is further confirmed in the Vedic scriptures, that not only in this Sanatana Dharma scriptures, but even in Christianity, in Muslims, this is confirmed that Lord has hand and form. Yes. So Lord Shiva's declaration also, that of all the types of worship, the worship of Lord Vishnu is the best. Aradhanam sarvesham Vishnur aradhanam param. He's telling to Parvati, and he himself is meditating on Lord Vishnu. Now there is a question that what is the difference between Vishnu and Krishna? Who is superior? So this is again a very common question which is asked in the Indian scenario, whether Krishna is supreme or Vishnu is supreme. So the scriptures, they tell that Krishna is supreme, and we have so many evidences for that. But for your understanding, as this level, we can understand that Vishnu is like father in the office, and Krishna is like father at home. Now, which father do you like to be with? Do you like to be with your father in the office? No, because there he is very busy. Similarly, Lord in the Vaikuntha as Vishnu, he is very much nicely worshipped, but he is like an office, very nice garments and everything, and so many Lakshmis are worshipping, offering the worship, and so much flowers are being put, and the Lord is the center. Whereas at home at Golok Vrindavana, Lord is like a friend or a very loving father who plays with his children, and that is the father whom everybody likes to be with. So that is the difference between Lord Krishna and Shiva on Lord Vishnu. Okay, so that is for now. This understanding should be enough, and in our future sessions, we'll more detailedly describe what is the difference between Krishna and Vishnu. Even Shankaracharya tells that Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Geetam Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva. Worship only one God, Devaki Putra Krishna. Eko Mantras Tasya Namani Yani Karmapya Ekam Tasya Devasya Seva. So, if there is some service to be done, that is to be done to Krishna. If there is any mantra to be chanted, then that is only one mantra which is related to Krishna. So, this is what the Gita Mahatmya says. So we understood this, that Lord is there behind all this creation, and similarly there is a manager behind every company. There is a Lord behind this entire creation, and the birth of the Lord is also not ordinary. There is a Lord Krishna takes, when he took birth, he had four hands. So this is indicates that he is not some normal person with some extra power. Some people tell that Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is some extraordinary person with some extra powers. So that is not the correct understanding. Janma karma chame divyam yo evam yo veti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. If we understand the birth, quality, pastimes, how Krishna lifted Govardhan and all his activities, then we will be completely rid of this birth and death cycle just by hearing this. So I am taking some more time today because this is a very detailed concept. I hope you are okay with that. In case you are okay, then I will go for few more minutes and then we'll take question answers. If you are all okay, then I can request you to put yes in the chat box. Okay, few yes are coming. What about others? Sharda, Rakshita, Priyanka, Anusha, Brinda, Parth, Avinash. Okay, a good amount of yes is coming. So I will just try to sum it up in some time. And here we see that by understanding the birth and activities of Lord Krishna, we can understand him in complete picture. It is not that some people tell that we don't have to surrender to that Krishna who is told in the Bhagavad Gita or in the Mahabharata, but some energy and some power which is there within that person, the soul of that person, we have to surrender to them. Arey, Srila Prabhupada becomes very angry that why these people are misinterpreting the message. So many times Krishna tells, Sarva dharmam parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. He didn't tell that the energy within me. He just told to me. To Arjuna, he told that you surrender unto me. You do whatever I tell. Manmana bhava mad bhakto mam madhyaji mam namaskaru. Mame vaishyasya satyam te pratijani priyosi me. You surrender to me, you worship me, you offer obeisances to me, you become my devotee. So many times, this two times this verse is repeated in Bhagavad Gita. So after this, we should not misunderstand the central point, that we have to surrender to Krishna, and he is the supreme personality. Uh, In the scriptures also it is told that ekale ishwara krishna are sab bhratya. In so many, there are 33 demigods, 33 crore demigods in Hindu religion. Some people may ask why there are so many demigods. If god is one, then why Ganesha, Shiva, Parvati, Ma Kali and Saraswati and so many kinds of demigods are there? So Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita that yes, if one surrenders to me, he will come to me. If you surrender to demigod, you will go to demigods. Some person was offering agarbatti in one office when I went. That when I asked why you are offering agarbatti to so many pictures, so he told nobody should feel bad. Lakshmi ji should continue giving me Lakshmi. Ganpati should help me to have no obstruction. Shivaji should help me in this material affairs, and etc. etc. So this is the conception which Indians have generally. No offense to the demigods or no disrespect, because they are very elevated devotees. However, Krishna only is telling that it is better to surrender to him. And even the demigods like Shiva himself, as we saw now, he himself is worshipping Lord. So if we worship Krishna, he will be very happy. Or if we worship Krishna, Ganesha, Saraswati, Lord Brahma, all will be satisfied. It is like pouring food into the stomach, all the organs will be satisfied. Or pouring water into the roots, all the leaves and branches will be satisfied. So they are like agents of Krishna, doing work of Krishna. If we satisfy Krishna, automatically they will be satisfied. So in this perspective, we should understand the difference between Krishna and the demigods. Now, what is the difference between Lord Krishna and ourselves? Yes, Lord, though takes birth from Devaki and Vasudeva, he is unborn, because we as a soul are also unborn, but our body takes birth. Our body and Krishna's body are different. Some person was asking, Krishna left his dead body in Dwarka by when the hunter killed. No, sorry, but he might have left a materialistic body, but actually he went in the same body back to the spiritual world. Why he kept the dead body there? To make those people who are atheistic and the non-believers of God, their faith will be protected. He does not want to disturb. He does not want to force them that you should love me, you should surrender me. Okay, you don't want to understand me, fine. You can see like this, because they want that they should not worship Krishna. So Krishna facilitates that desire. Okay, you may have a question, what will happen to them when they will come back to Krishna? Okay, no problem, don't worry. Some pure devotee like Prabhupada will come and preach and again get them to Krishna. Yes, now Lord appears to have a human like form. His body is transcendental and avyayatma. Yes, though he is a human like form, but he does not have the body like us, like air, water, fire, air, ether. His complete body is Sachidananda, made of spiritual items. Though Lord appears like one of us, but he is Bhutanam Ishwara, Lord of all the living entities. So these aspects are clearly mentioned. So we should understand that qualitatively we are one with the Lord. We also want to be happy. He also wants to be happy. We also like to be eternal. Everybody likes government job, because it is permanent, no problem. Similarly, our soul is permanent. So we like everything permanent, no change. But yeah, variety is there. Variety should be taken. But generally, we like everything to be going on as it is forever, because we are soul. Similarly, Lord is also forever and he is also wanting happiness. So qualitatively we are same, but quantitatively we are different. He can lift Govardhan, we cannot lift Govardhan. He is like the creator and owner of the whole thing, but we are not the creator or owner. So we can see so many pastimes. Krishna showed the entire universe to Mother Yashoda in the mouth, which no one of us can do that. Krishna and Balram jumped from a very tall mountain to save Rukmani, and when they ran off from the battlefield with Jarasandha, so that also shows that if such a height they jumped and nothing happened to them, not even a scratch, how can Krishna be killed by a small, simple hunter's arrow? It is impossible. It was only Krishna's desire that he wanted to go back after finishing his activities. So he just made that facility for that hunter to shoot the arrow. So Lord Krishna saved Parikshit Maharaj in the womb. Can you imagine? The whole Brahmastra went inside the womb, and Krishna also went and completely circumambulated and made sure that the Brahmastra doesn't act. So he is not an ordinary person. Huh? So we may be able to again compare that the jad vidya, the jad matter, this earth is made up of air, water, fire, air, ether. Panch mahabhuta is a matter, but we are matter plus soul. We are both. We are inside this dead body as a soul. But who is God? God is completely spiritual. Okay, he owns even this matter. This earth has come from him. Aham sarvasya prabhu. All these things have emanated from him. And not only that, he is the master of both the matter and the spirit. So he is the controlling both. You can remember the acronym MSc, master of science. Similarly, Lord is the matter, science, matter and spiritual, S for spiritual, and controller of both. So that this way we can understand the Lord. But we are just matter plus spirit, but we are not the controller of everything. We may be able to control ourselves, but we cannot control others. So in that way we are not the controller, but Lord is the controller. He knows what is there in others mind, but we cannot understand what is there in others mind. So that is the difference. So why does God come to this earth? He comes because to remove the adharma, as I told. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. So that comes to the end that yes, a higher reason for the Lord to come is to show his activities and his pastimes, so that we can remember and we can remember Krishna at the time of our leaving our body. Where does God stay, or what is the place which is beyond the kala and time? So this will be our last session on Sunday, 7 o'clock. I request all of you to be there, present, and very important to understand practical application in our life. The how does this time govern our activities, and how the time is controlled by the Lord. So just to quickly summarize what we discussed today, is precisely about Ishwara, that we discussed the nutshell of our previous sessions: the desire, the sanctioning, and the execution. And then we discussed about how if the Shabda Praman, the Pratyaksh Praman, and the Anuman Praman. And then we discussed about if these three are there, then how we can understand that the Lord is to be understood by the scriptures, by the Shabda Praman. We cannot just understand by our scientific research. And then we saw the different aspects of Lord: the Brahman aspect, the Paramatma feature, and the Bhagavan feature. And if there are so many religions, why God is one? What are the common features in all the three religions, all the few religions which are there? So that is what make we discuss the example of those soldiers, the navy, and the ones who are the pilots. Although they have different dresses, but they fight for the nation. Similarly, all the religions may have different activities, but the purpose is to love and serve God. And lastly, we discussed about how different understanding of different shlokas of based on Bhagavad Gita. We say that Lord is the Bhagwan, the possessor of all the six opulences. Only he can tell, he can be considered as a Lord, and not everybody else. And then we Virat Rupa, we saw what is the purpose of Virat Rupa. We discussed, and in our next session we'll discuss about the Kala, the time. So I will stop the sharing of PPT, and we will try to take some questions which might have come in the chat box. Yes, we will try to put this recording in the YouTube, so that those who want can also see. And if there are any questions, now you can put in the chat box. Yeah. Or you can raise your hand and you can ask. Already the time is 8:34. If there are any questions, we can try, and I will put the quiz link. I So that all of you can attend their quiz, and you can yeah, I am putting the quiz link in the chat box, so that those who of you can participate. So I hope the link is visible now to everybody. So in the last session, somebody had asked about whether egg is a sattvic food or not. So I have answered it in the WhatsApp group that even egg is also not sattvic. It is comes under rajasic because of the nature of the womb from which it is coming. The amount of proteins, it may be more, but it is not a good quality protein. So ideally we should avoid eggs. But milk is, even though it is coming from the cow, it is not a rajasic or tamasic. It is purely sattvic food. So that is one thing. And yeah, somebody was asking how to read Bhagavad Gita. So yes, Bhagavad Gita should be read in the actually systematic way. However, it may be difficult for you to read the whole Bhagavad Gita and understand it on your own. So our recommendation is that you can try to attend our sessions and remain connected. So we will have a very focused approach of Bhagavad Gita, and more detailed shlokas will be taken, and how to apply it in our further sessions. So that will be the best way to understand Bhagavad Gita, you know. And we will try to call some senior teachers also during our sessions. Okay, Rakshita is asking whether humor is good or bad. So, what is humor? Humor can be just understood as expression which is innate to a human being. So, why this humor is done? We have to understand, because what is the purpose of humor? It is not that we can tell humor as good or bad only. Suppose, let's say, if somebody is trying to make fun of somebody and in an insulting way, or making somebody feel down, and others are laughing and they are putting a critical remarks, so that kind of humor is not so good. Yeah, we will put the quiz link also in the WhatsApp group. Okay, so in case somebody wants to attend it later, so I'll just answer a couple of questions and then we will end for today. So coming back to the question of humor, so if it is done to insult somebody in a very sarcastic way, then that is not a very good thing. However, if the humor is spoken in a class to make the feel audience light, and just to entertain them in that way, so that they can further accept and digest the uh, subject which is taught, so then it is a good humor. Yes, a Vaishnava, a devotee of the Lord, is always having this one quality of humorous. Srila Prabhupada also was a good humorous person. If I have to say one example, whenever one person asked, "Oh, Srila Prabhupada, what will happen if Krishna is not there at the end of your life?" So Srila Prabhupada told that, yes, if Krishna is not there at the end, still it is okay. Why? Because I am enjoying, I am dancing, I am doing kirtan, I am eating prasadam, and I am chanting the names. Life is very wonderful. So there is no problem even if at the end Krishna is not there. However, I am happy. But Prabhupada asked him a question, that what will you do, mister, in case Prabhupada is there, Krishna is there at the end of your life? So he was bewildered, shocked that yes, my life I am, however, not happy, neither I am doing this chanting, prasadam, nothing. So what will happen at the end of my life? So it is better always to worship Krishna. So like that, Prabhupada used to humorously explain some concepts. So it all depends on how we use it, who uses it. If a person is in mood of goodness, he will use humor for a good cause, and then the humor can be nicely used. So I hope that helps, Rakshita, in terms of the question. Hmm? Yeah, in case there is no other question, we'll end for today, and we'll keep the link in the or quiz link in the group also. I hope you have some of you have already attempted the quiz. So thank you very much, and looking forward to meet all of you in the next session. That will be on Sunday, 7 o'clock, and the topic will be Kala. Okay. So thank you all for your feedbacks. Also, all of you are giving very encouraging feedbacks. And okay, Anusha is sharing that you could not open the link. Okay, what about others? Uh, Anybody else also could not open the link, or only Anusha was not able to open? Okay, Shamita is telling it opened for her. Okay, Brinda is asking a question. Is it compulsory to offer puja to surrender to God? Uh, yeah, just I will try to answer this question because it has come. If others wants to leave, you are free. You can leave. No, no issues. I'll just answer this question and then we can take a break. So yes, it is not compulsory to offer puja to surrender to God. We can offer our puja based on the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Like there are different things which is told in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita at different levels. So first thing what is recommended to Arjuna by Krishna is that you offer your mind, always think of me. But if you are not able to do that, then okay, at least work for me, because to control mind and focus on Krishna may be little difficult. So Krishna is telling, okay, if not this, then this, you work, like you offer arti, or you can sing some prayer, or you can do some service in temple, cleaning of temple, or giving Bhagavad Gita to others, or doing rangoli outside the temple, any activity which is connected to God. So that can be done, because that requires the senses also. So some people like to do dancing for Krishna, or some people like to do preaching about the message of God, any activity. But if somebody is not able to do this also, this is also difficult, okay, you can just offer some results. Okay, you are earning so much money, you are earning so much name and fame, you are earning so much properties, you have so many of your assets and your living relatives, you try to engage them and give this little fruit to Krishna, like people give charity. So that is one more aspect which is little easier for many of them. So in this way we can try to surrender to God slowly and steadily. But yes, unless we do not 100% surrender to God, our destiny cannot be reached so easily. It is a gradual process and we cannot do it overnight. Like how we go stepwise to 12 standard, similarly we have to slowly stepwise go to that full surrenderance level. I hope that helps, Brinda. uh, Avinash is asking, can we reach or see God after conquering Dwargas? Okay. Arisha Dwargas. Can you tell me more about this Arisha Dwargas? I am hearing that, I think, for the first time. What is this Arishad Vargas? Okay, Arishad Vargas. Uh, Maybe you are talking about the six chakras which are there. Uh, they sometimes tell that there are seven doors to Vaikuntha and seven chakras, and from this Brahma chakra, the soul comes outside, or Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Okay, so these are the things which are also mentioned, but what the scriptures and Bhagavad Gita tells is bhaktya mam iti janati naham yaschasmi tatvatah. So by dharma, artha and kama and moksha, we cannot necessarily understand God, because this is the process of going, like one attains, one does what is dharma, he does his routine work of either he's a kshatriya or a brahmana or a shudra. Okay, and then why he does that work? To get some artha, something to enjoy in life. And then kama, yes, one this is a very slow process, it is very very slow. It is told, if one remains a pakka brahmana for 100,000 life, then he gets a birth of a brahma. So Krishna does not recommend this process in Bhagavad Gita, because this was the process in the ages Satya Yuga, when lifespan was 1 lakh years. But now in the Kali Yuga, it is recommended that just chanting of the holy names, the Bhakti Yoga process is the recommended process, because quickly we can get the result in the short period of time, whereas this Dharma, Artha and Kama will take lot of time. And by the time we will get into another body which we don't know, because Kali Yuga already lot of sins are there. So as far as the chakra, which is concerned from going from Muladhara Chakra to Brahmarandra, etc. Even that is considered to be very difficult. And in the sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Ashtanga Yoga, this process is mentioned to Arjuna by Krishna, that if you do meditation and sit in the forest with kusha grass, and complete celibacy, and blocking the ears and the nose, the airflow, with so much rules and regulations, one can try to attain the ultimate moksha or the supreme personality of Godhead. So that is also, Arjuna tells, impossible, I cannot do this, Krishna. Can you imagine who is telling? Even Arjuna is rejecting that I cannot follow that. So with that we should understand that for us Kalyuga jivas, we have to take the process which is given for Kalyuga, which is the chanting of the holy name, which we will tell elaborately in our session after the sixth session gets over, for those of you who are interested, that how that is the recommended process for the ultimate goal of life. Okay, I hope that helps, Avinash. And Sharda is asking about Arishad Vargas are the Kama, Krodha, Lobha. Okay, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Okay, okay. According to my knowledge. Yeah, these are the six anarthas, and it is recommended that we have to overcome these six anarthas. Even as a devotee, practicing devotee, these six anarthas are there. In case that is what is Shadvargas, they are called as anarthas in our understanding of Bhagavatam. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mad, Matsarya. Yeah, the lust, greed, envy, illusion, pride, and envy and illusion. So these are the obstacles. Unless that is not cleansed, we cannot go. So how to cleanse it? Like with Rin, we can clean clothes. With the Colgate toothpaste, we can clean our teeth. But what should we use to clean our heart? We should use the spiritual method prescribed, that is the chanting of the holy names. So thank you all very much. I think it is too late now, and we will end the session here. If there are any questions, you can put in the quiz feedback form. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.